Hey guys, welcome back to Ancestral Healing. Quick update, it's been a little bit over 2 weeks without coffee and I am feeling fantastic. My energy levels are back. Just wanted to give you an update. I cannot wait for what the future holds. So Danny and I have been eating pretty much the same thing over the last month or so, and I wanted to share with you guys what these meals are. I want to show you that eating an animal-based diet, being healthy, can be delicious, cost-effective, and nutrient dense. I'm going to give you a breakdown of what we typically eat in a day. These are the only ingredients you'll need. So first of all, eggs. Lots of eggs. Can be chicken eggs, duck eggs, whatever is your preference. For our source of protein and fat, we go for high-fat ground beef. This is where you can get creative and you can have the option of mixing ground beef with ground pork or doing either or. It's totally up to you. The other cut of beef that we've been completely hooked on, and you may have seen in my most recent recipe video, this is called osso buco, aka beef shank. In my opinion, this is the most underrated cut of beef. It's extremely nutrient dense, gelatinous, and cheap in most countries in the world. After we cook the osso buco, we're left over with some amazing golden broth, which is another staple in our weekly meals. So here it is. I'm gonna break down all of the meals for you guys. I'm gonna go into the recipes for you. They're super easy, and I guarantee you, if you eat these meals, you're gonna save money, you're gonna reduce inflammation, reduce any unwanted weight, and you're gonna just feel so much better. I'm really gonna simplify things for you guys. So typically we eat our first meal around 10, 11 a.m. It's like a late breakfast, early lunch. And this meal consists of a ground beef bowl. If you're looking to heal your gut, it's been a couple of years and you've wreaked some havoc on your gut, you have some digestive issues, perhaps you have leaky gut, then I have this strict carnivore version of the ground beef bowl, and that's what I recommend for you. Many of us have tried all the different diets, including myself, but you still find yourself kind of struggling. This is where eating a strict carnivore diet, meat, salt, water comes into play. When I first started the carnivore diet, I was strictly carnivore for 2 years, nothing else. And it truly healed my gut. Many people think that we need lots of veggies and to do all these juice cleanses to heal our bodies, to cleanse, but that is far from the truth. You just need some meat. So if you're in the situation, if this sounds a lot like you, I suggest you keep your ground beef bowl simple. Just meat, salt, eggs. So what we do for this bowl is we usually cook the ground beef in ghee. You can use beef tallow, you can use pork lard, you can use butter, whatever animal fat is your favorite. When the beef is almost cooked, I crack open some eggs on top of the beef. Don't be shy, add at least 2 eggs. I usually add just 3 for myself, 3, 4 sometimes, depending on how hungry I am. So you crack those eggs on top of the beef, and then you mix it with the spatula until it's cooked, add salt, and voila, you're done. That's it. Beef, salt, eggs. If you're not so strict or you feel like you need a little bit more flavor, a little oomph, I suggest frying some organic garlic and or onion in the ghee before adding that ground beef. Always try to source organic when you're eating vegetables or fruits. Otherwise, you're eating pesticides, and that's no fun. Now this meal is very versatile. If you're more on the keto carnivores train, more on the ancestral eating train, you can add some veggies if you like. You can add small pieces of organic baked squash. You can add a little bit of avocado. You can also add cheese, and this goes for the strict carnivore people as well. Some of you eat cheese, that's okay. You just gotta know if your body likes it or not. You can add cheese to this bowl. You can add a green plantain for some starchiness. Get creative with it. You can even add cilantro or basil. As you can see, there's different variations to the ground beef bowl. There's a variation for the strict carnivore. There's a variation for the person who likes a little bit more flavor, add a little garlic, add a little onion. And then there's a variation for those of us who like to consume a bit of veggies. We can all enjoy this bowl in our own different ways, depending on where we are in our healing journeys. If you are interested to find out what are the safer veggie options, what I suggest is to find your local farmers, talk to them, have that conversation, ask them what practices they use, how do they use any pesticides, do they spray their vegetables, and always make sure that you're eating what is in season for where you are currently. In my ebook, A Guide to Ancestral Healing, I provide a comprehensive list of safe foods to eat. That includes safe veggies, safe seasonings, safe herbs, and of course, the best cuts of meat. I will provide the link in the description below. So we eat this ground beef bowl every day. Sometimes it's the first meal of the day, sometimes it's the second meal of the day. But each time it tastes like the first time. It's so delicious, and I don't know why, for some reason, each time we make it, it has a different flavor. It's so diverse. You can get creative with it in so many ways. You will never get bored of this meal. Now for the second meal of the day, which is kind of like an early dinner, we usually try to eat before 7 p.m. We don't always make it, so 8 p.m. the latest. We usually have ground beef again, but in the form of hamburgers. I like to always add 1 egg to my ground beef mixture just to kind of make it stick together. And of course, salt. You can mix the ground beef with pork if you want. You can do a half and half mixture. If you want to just stick to ground beef, that's cool too. And what you do is you mix it very well in a bowl with an egg and add salt, and then you make little hamburger patties. I fry those hamburger patties in ghee, but of course you can use whatever fat you like. If you're healing, keep it simple. Just meat, egg, salt. If you need a little extra protein, you can also fry an additional egg to put on top of your hamburger. Don't just have one burger, unless it's a super thick one. I typically have around 2 to 3 patties just myself. So you have to eat until you're full. Don't count your calories, don't track your macros. Let go of the notion that you have to do all of those things. As humans, we have to become in tune with our bodies and know when it's time to stop eating. We have to know when we've reached a level of satiation. The moment that I stopped counting calories is the moment that I started to be lean and to feel strong. Everything became a lot more simpler. So if you empower yourself and you empower that inner guidance, you will not have to rely on anything external. So if you're one of those people who needs a little bit more flavor than just meat, salt, and egg, I have a tip for you. Dice up some organic onion, very finely chopped, and fry it in ghee. Now you add that cooked onion to your raw meat and egg mixture, mix it up together, and form those beef patties, and then fry them. You will thank me later. If you're keto carnivore, ancestral based, this is the point where you can add a little bit of veggies if you like. You can add some avocado. You guys can also add cheese. You can add a little vegetable garnish on your plate. So now comes the third meal that we are hooked on. And we kind of just alternate these meals throughout the days. We have 2 meals a day. We can pick and choose from these meals and never ever get bored of them. So this meal is ossobuco. It's beef shank essentially. And I made a recipe video recently showing how to make this the slow cook version. I will put the recipe video in the description below. This cut of meat is truly a hidden gem. When you slow cook it, it's so tender, pull apart, and my favorite part is that it even has a bone marrow. The way that I cook this, just to summarize, is I use the Ninja Foodi. I slow cook it. But you can also do it on your stovetop. It takes about 2 to 3 hours. And the amazing part about it is it actually gives you a bonus meal of a bone broth. We usually just eat the beef shank on its own when it's ready, maybe just drizzle a bit of the bone broth on top, and then we save that bone broth for a meal for later. Sometimes we have ossobuco leftovers and we'll add that to the bone broth and reheat everything. But other times I'll just cook up some ground beef and throw it in the broth, throw some eggs in there, and this is how absolutely no food goes to waste. And I always add eggs to my bone broth. As it's warming up in the pot, I just crack an egg open in there, or what I've been doing recently is I soft boil eggs, and then I add them to the soup after. So these are a total of 4 meals that we alternate during the week: ground beef bowl, hamburgers, osso buco, and bone broth. It does not get more simple than this, more nutritious than this, and more delicious than this. And also, you're saving money. Of course, we do eat other things. I love to add in liver once in a while. I love to get some ribs, but seriously, for the last month or so, these meals have been on rotation, and it's an ongoing joke in our house that we can't believe we're not tired of these meals yet. But it's just, this is the way it is when you eat what you are supposed to eat. You do not feel the need to have all this diversity and a new different thing every day, because this is what we were designed to eat. It was supposed to be this simple. It's not difficult at all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wish you a beautiful weekend ahead. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Let me know if you try these meals out, and I hope you guys have an awesome day. Don't forget to check out these other 2 videos on the screen. Take care.